Namo Narayana, welcome back. We are reading from Adi Shankar today, Kaupeena Panchakam. Apologies for my pronunciation. This is in English translated to Pentad of the loincloth. Pentad meaning 5 sets. Always thinking about words of philosophy, always getting satisfied with food got by begging, and always without trace of sorrow, thinking of the inner self. The man with the loincloth is indeed the lucky one. Always depending on only roots and plants, always taking only 2 handfuls full of food, and always thinking of wealth as a torn piece of cloth. The man with the loincloth is indeed the lucky one. Always getting elated in his own thoughts, always peacefully controlling all his senses, and always drowned in the pleasure of Brahman. The man with the loincloth is indeed the lucky one. Always witnessing his own changes of the body, who is seeing himself as the soul, and who never thinks of ends, middle, and outside. The man with the loincloth is indeed the lucky one. Always reciting the name of Brahman with devotion, always thinking that he himself is Brahman, and who wanders aimlessly depending on alms obtained. The man with the loincloth is indeed the lucky one. I'm going to make a comment I've said in other things on this channel. Some of these writings are just really fun. I really enjoyed reading that one. And we all know what it's about. It's about a monk or a renunciate. But I live in America. I live in Portland, Maine. It's the 2020s. I work at a law firm all day long. If I put on a loincloth, I might be arrested. I would be verging on public nudity. Or I might be arrested by someone who thinks I'm out of my brains crazy. And I would be arrested for disturbing the peace. If I go begging for food, I will be called a beggar, and I will be arrested. I can go to the soup kitchen or the homeless shelter, which isn't that far from here, and I can stand in line and maybe get some food without having to beg. I could sit on the sidewalk with a sign, give me something to eat, which a lot of people do, and then I will be written up in newspapers as part of the homeless problem. If I was dependent on only roots and plants and only took 2 handfuls of food, I would be now nourished. Actually, I don't even know where I would find these roots and these plants that I would be eating. Poisonous mushrooms around here, maybe? Whatever. It is impossible for me to be a man with a loincloth. I would not be lucky if I was. I would be sitting in prison. Words like these and things I've read in other books that tell you who is good or who is bad and how to act. In my world, it is impossible to follow this. A man with a loincloth is a danger to society. No joke. 911 will be called. And this goes for a large part of the world. Now, maybe if I was living in Japan, and I say that having lived there, I was going around in a loincloth, it wouldn't be so bad. I have a very fond memory of going through the subways in Kobe, where I lived, and there was a monk who would stand there with a bowl, and I just was memorized by him whenever I saw him. I felt blessed by seeing him, and he would just stand there as still as possible with his bowl, collecting money, and if I had any money, I would put it in the bowl. I would have loved to have talked to him. I just don't think he would have talked, or maybe he would have, I don't know, but I just found it very profound. And that's fine. They're equipped for someone like that. I used to go to the Buddhist and Shinto temples all the time, and people go to them all the time, and they're well supported. If you live in India, you can live as a man in a loincloth. They still do, as of now, and you will survive. China. You can do this in China, I believe, and Tibet, and maybe Thailand, where I've been. I've been to Bangkok, and I remember seeing Buddhist monks, and they seem to be surviving. But for many of us, and if you're watching this video, maybe you live in one of these countries, but still you live in, big city, and it's not so easy to be a beggar. It's very hard to digest these words. Adi Shankar lived, 700 BC or 750, somewhere around there. He may never have seen a large city like exists today. I don't know if there was cities. Actually, no. What am I saying? Of course there wasn't cities that exist like we have today. You probably could have been a beggar in every city or town or whatever you may, village, whatever, anywhere in the world, the known world, in that point in time. You could have gone anywhere and it would not have made anyone blink. Today, the world has changed so much that he did not foresee. And, we can't all run away and become monks. So it's interesting to see these poems. They're so great and there's so much here, but yet, what do we do with them 2,700 years later? I don't know. I don't know, other than to enjoy them and pull from them what we can, and to try to get back to nature or back to Godhead the best we can in our modern world. Or maybe the modern world is just not compatible and we're all screwed. Some people say that. I don't know. What do you say? What do you think? I've rambled on enough, and you knew where I was going with this, and you may have the same feelings and the same I don't know answer. But if you don't, please put it down below. I would love to hear from you. And as always, thank you for watching. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.